The Swapper. This is The Swapper. I've been rather excited about this game. Everything I've seen about it makes it look rather intriguing, so I'm just going to begin. I've seen a little bit being played, and I've had a tiny go at myself, and I have to say I do like the style so far in particular. The puzzling, I'm still sort of getting into it, but we'll get around to that, you know. I don't play too many puzzle games. I tend to tire of them after a while, but this does look rather interesting. I'm a Selfsamespot, by the way. I am playing this game. In a moment. A bit of a 2001 thing going on here. Research Station Theseus, planet Cori V, which I believe is 5. I'm afraid I have a bit of blind spot when it comes to Roman numerals. I can never remember. Oh, he's in a can. Look at that, he's in a can. Now, the art style of this is rather unique. It's all found objects which have been scanned to the game, so they're things they presumably found in trash heaps and in recycling centres, where one goes to find trash. But they do have an immense selection of junk in this game, a fantastic amount of rubbish and detritus, which they have fashioned into the characters and environments of the game, which I think is rather fabulous. It does remind me a lot of the old sometime television show and live specials called Button Moon, which from the 1980s. I don't know if anyone from England will remember those, but they were these characters that were made out of mostly out of bottles. Most of the main characters of the show were all made out of plastic bottles, and they used to talk. In fact, there was a bit of a thing for that in the 80s. There were a lot of shows like that. There was a thing called Fingermouse. And Fingermouse was the adventures of a paper mouse and his owner, where the paper mouse was it was literally a paper mouse that one could easily make at home with a pencil, and in fact people made their own finger mice all the time, and were encouraged to. The whole show had a sort of crafting element. Yes, and I seem to recall maybe some other shows of that kind that were, the characters made out of bits and bobs and rubbish, and there was an improvised feel to the whole thing. Now, obviously, not popular these days, and in the era of total commercialism in regards to kids' TV, where we want to encourage people to make their own toys. No, you've got to go out and buy them all and get the special recoloured variant, with the jetpack and the colour feature thing that you'll never ever use. Quite an eerie cave. Alien places are often interesting places in games. There's so many of them you just come across. From Doom, when you just turn up on the old space station. And this seems maybe a similar thing. We've turned up in a space station and things have gone rapidly wrong. The Sisyphus project. That is a ominously named project. If you want to name your project something ominous, you can't do too much better than Sisyphus, the god who was thought to spend eternity pushing a boulder up a hill, if I recall. I have the Swapper. Okay, now, what one does is, there we are. One holds a button, and primes a special gun here, and then, blam, I have created a clone of myself. And in fact, I can create multiple of them. I can create 3 different clones. Look at that. And when I move, they'll move with me. Look at that. We're a regular marching band. Come on, chaps. Whee! Come, folks, get over there. That's it. Forward ho! I've got my own little platoon. I have to say, it's rather empowering. As you see, they've all coagulated back into me. Okay, so I suppose what one has to do is go up here, create a little clone. He pushes the button, and then we go. See you later, clone. Have a good life. Yeah, it's basic puzzle stuff going on. Here we are. So what I need to do is stand over here and project a clone there. There you go, boy. And project another fella here. Oh, no, that's not work. Go! Ah. There we go. I've got past the impractically designed entrance system for this space base. No wonder something went wrong if every time you have to get in the front door you must do this or that but stuff. I'm sure that's incredibly obvious and trite to point out, but still. Here we are. I can interact with the memory terminal and read some logs. I always like logs in video games, particularly you know, if there's a horror game and it's late at night and you're flipping through the old logs and you see something disturbing. The classic, of course, is Itchy Tasty from Resident Evil. I'm hoping to get the Resident Evil remake soon, and I'll probably try and play a bit of that. Ooh, mind science. That sounds freaky in a way I appreciate. An example of mind science. It's the combination of a word that's sort of simple and complex with a word that's just complex. You know, it's mind science. It's like a thought weapon. Just debating if I should... No, go this way. Yeah, in a cave. Now, I haven't played much of this game, so I'm unaware whether or not we're completely alone in this place. There may be creatures. I mean, this looks like the kind of place where creatures would be, namely xenomorphs, or one of the million or billion xenomorph variations one gets in video games, such as the Brood or whatever they're called in Mass Effect. Ah, yes. Right. Got a swapped me clone. There we go. Now I've swapped my personality into this clone, meaning I leave this clone behind here to perish. Which, of course, brings up all sorts of fascinating existential problems, you know. If there is a soul, where is it now? Is it in that clone, or is it in me? Personally, I don't believe in the idea of a soul. It seems a bit silly. Well, at least in the spiritual definition. But it is the kind of dichotomy you've got to think about in these things. Looks like you're projecting footballs. There we are. Yeah, as I was saying, I have the same problem with the idea of teleporting. Because, of course, the idea of a teleport is that you rearrange you sort of turn your molecules into something that can be transmitted, then you transmit them to another place. Ah, you see, this blue stuff is preventing me from cloning. Make a clone there. And swap to the feather. Swap it properly. Use a toy clone. Okay. I'm going to stand here then. Pop him there. And pop this chap here. There you are. Really good. Ah, now we have, I see, so I can't swap them, but I can project, I think. Yes, I see. Okay, add a fill up here. Wait, as I say, if one is teleported, then, you know, one's molecules get sort of broken up into some other, you know, some other format, like a sort of digital signal, then it gets sent somewhere. And then they're rearranged so that one apparently appears on the other side, but it's the same thing really as being cloned and then just destroying one of the clones. I mean, it depends on the format. It does bring up all these sort of existential problems, you know. Do you kill yourself every time you teleport? I like to think that's the case in Star Trek. Whenever I see them beam down, I like to think that they're actually killing themselves and that there's some kind of, you know, afterlife full of the thousands of clones of all the various Star Trek people who just argue all the time about who is the original one. None of them really know. However, I believe there is a solution. I was thinking about this in terms of transhumanism, and how one might want to... it might be preferable at some point to transfer one's memories and sort of, you know, and personality onto a computer. I think it could work if you live stream it. If you sort of... It's hard to imagine, but if you could somehow deconstruct half of a person on one end, and then it's hard to explain. Imagine one has to input one's brain into a computer, but one doesn't simply want to copy one's brain and delete the original. So one copies half of one's brain, then links that half to the other half of the original, then links the other half to the previous thing, and then goes forward. This doesn't sound like it makes any sense at all, does it? No. This is just ranting and ridiculousnch, which is silly even for me. I do apologise. I apologise unreservedly. If I think of a better way to put this, I will put it. But you know, I suppose this game encourages that kind of thinking. We have a teleporter here, as I say, not the conventional type of teleporter, rather forlorn looking, and not just, I think, because of dilapidation in this place. It's the art style of this is very organic, and I do like that. There's very few straight lines, which is rare for a video game in general, and double rare for a science fiction-based game. We need a fast turnaround here. The last shift was supposed to go home 6 hours ago. Instead, you've got them shipping back more rock samples. They're tired. Please advise. I often say please advise at the end of my emails. It sounds formal in a way I appreciate. Let's carry on for now. Into the heart of the planet. Ah yes, it's just the orb I need to activate the old teleport. Splendid. Got to plug in these big spiky things, you see. They should just keep those plugged in, really. More energy efficient. But I'm not going to tell you your business, gentlemen. Ooh. Arrivals, oh. Ah, it seems we're at a proper space station now. Indeed, welcome to Space Station Theseus. Alternatively, you could put, welcome to Theseus Space Station. There's many ways you could phrase that. It does look like a bit of blackboard or some string there. I do like the art style. I wonder if we run into the necromorphs from Dead Space. They inhabit places such as this. Oh, look. Lots of spare outfits and uniforms. It's useful. I don't need them because I can just clone them. Hello! Hello! Oh, Sector 1, public. It's the public sector, as opposed to the private sector. Whoa! I seem to have died. My first death, everyone. Okay, just wait for the old lift to come up, I suppose. I really should have tried to clone myself in some way to save myself from dying back then, but yeah, wasn't really thinking on my feet. Oh, an ominous lift shaft. There's many ominous lifts and things. I'm obsessed with lifts in video games, you know. But ever since I played the original Mass Effect, and you in that game you spend an awful lot of time waiting around in a lift with your friends while they small talk intermittently. The limits of language are limits of knowledge. Our name was not their knowledge. They thought of us as watchers. Well, yes, but I actually got really annoyed they took the lift out of Mass Effect 2. I mean, I enjoy the lifts. In fact, I enjoy a bit of sort of tedium in general in games. You know, not up to the Shenmue level of having to actually go to work and work at a warehouse each day, but I like having to stand around in a lift or sit in a car for a few minutes and just have a bit of quiet time just to think, you know, and soak things up. You know, I mean, I used to love the radio coming over the comm in the lifts in Mass Effect, and you'd hear about all the things you've done. You know, it's a shame they took it out, but I suppose people want immediacy. If you want immediacy, this is probably the wrong channel, since I do tend to dally. Now, I need another encryption orb. Some gas. Personally, I'm not at all against the idea of cloning. It seems like a bloody good idea to me. You know, I mean, just working on the old, working on the old genetics a bit, you know, and cloned organs. I mean, definitely a good idea. I mean, everyone needs more organs. I mean, one big ethical question is if you could create some kind of cloned variation on a creature that had no brain or was unable to feel pain, specifically had no brain or no sentience. The only advantage in our chain, you choose your chain. Interesting. These rocks are saying lots of enigmatic things. It seems to be the thoughts of some kind of species unlike our own. Lovely, sorry, I've completely forgotten what I was talking about. This is something I do an awful lot. I believe it was... Oh yes, clone meat, that was it. And cloned organs, yes. I mean, they should clone organs all over the place, even if they don't need to. Excellent. Now I have the orb.
Quarantine disengaged.
There we are. I've disengaged the quarantine. But as I say, you might be able to come up with a creature that doesn't have any kind of sentience or a brain or a nervous system or anything. That way we could, you know, just clone as much as we like, you know. Yeah, I mean, harvest the meat as much as we like, you know. It wouldn't have the same problems that some people might have over animal welfare, you know. I'm not a vegetarian myself. I do respect them a lot, you know, since...
Emergency personnel to waste management.
No, they need people with waste management. Not so much particularly because, you know, I disagree with the eating of meat, although a lot of the way meat is handled does alarm me. But, the thing, well, I do admire them doing something for their beliefs that doesn't affect their life every day. You know? So I'm just playing around with these clothes now. Oh, fun. Okay, ooh, there's a bit of rock there, has something inside it. Can't smash that open, Mario style. Whee! And I'm dead. Okay, I have to get down here, so I suppose what one can do is swap one down there somewhere. There we are. I survived. So this is the memory terminal. Ah, supplies. Need water. Spare plant. Xeno samples and finds. 432 items registered. Xeno samples, yes. It looks like our friends on this space station were messing with something alien. Never a good idea. Who the hell is that? Is that me? Is it me from the past? There's time travel in this. This is going to be an extra layer of confusing. This mystery continues to deepen. But we will find out what's going on. We'll investigate, and by due process, discover the truth. Because the truth is out there, and we will find it.